Some guns cost more than your rent, yet still ship with dollar store triggers and parts that feel like they were pulled from a bargain bin full of scrap. Others wear a fancy logo, but as soon as you shoot them, you'll realize you're paying for hype, not performance. Worse, even the smartest shooters get suckered into paying full price for such firearms. How's it possible? In this video, we'll talk about 6 overpriced firearms that only fools would buy at full retail. They might look slick on the shelf, and sure, they've got name recognition, but when you peel back the Cerakote and start pulling triggers, the cracks start showing fast. We'll cover guns that promise the moon and barely make it to the berm, plus smarter, cheaper alternatives that get the job done without draining your ammo fund. If you've ever wondered whether that boutique AR you've been eyeing is actually worth it, or if that revolver you saw in that popular gun magazine really belongs in your safe, stick around. We're diving deep into the guns that make us roll our eyes and alternatives that actually earn their keep. Number 6. Kel-Tec RDB. The RDB grabbed my attention the moment it dropped. A true ambidextrous bullpup with downward-facing ejection sounded perfect for southpaws, law enforcement armor carriers, and anyone tired of hot brass in the face. The price, about $1,000, promised accessibility, and early marketing pushed a vision of futuristic practicality. After running several samples on the range, however, I learned the platform behaves like a lottery ticket. One rifle fed everything from steel case to match loads without complaint. The very next serial number behaved like a diva, short-stroking on bulk American Eagle and refusing to lock back after the last round. Field stripping didn't reveal anything catastrophic, just rough machining, inconsistent gas piston tolerances, and polymer seams that felt unfinished. Kel-Tec has always been an ideas company first and a manufacturing house second, which means the buyer plays QC detective after the purchase. Sure, the gun feels wonderfully compact, balances closer to the shoulder than any AR pistol, and the trigger beats first-gen Tavers. Yet that sweetness evaporates when malfunctions crop up in a defensive drill. Serious shooters practice hard, burn thousands of rounds, and expect repeatability. When each pull of the trigger carries a silent question mark, confidence heads south fast. Steyer's AUG costs roughly twice as much, but the price includes decades of incremental refinement. Austrian engineers solved the bullpup riddle back when disco ruled the airwaves, so modern AUGs ship with forged receivers, chrome-lined barrels, and a simple, rock-solid short-stroke piston. Mine has chewed through 15,000 rounds of mixed surplus without a single parts failure. The charging handle doubles as a forward assist. Two-stage trigger breaks cleanly once you learn the rhythm, and barrel swaps take seconds, letting you move from 16 inches to 20 while retaining 0. Spare parts live on the military surplus market, and NATO pattern mag housings let you ditch the proprietary waffle mags entirely. Although the AUG weighs a hair more than the RDB, the bulk rides against the shoulder, so target transitions stay lively. If a shooter wants a compact, reliable bullpup that runs in rain, dust, or freezing muck, the Steyr delivers. Spending an extra $1,000 up front might sting, yet it beats paying a gunsmith, or worse, discovering a feedway stoppage when the timer or the threat is live. Number 5. Daniel Defense DDM-4V7. Walk into any upscale gun store, and the DDM-4V7 occupies the glass case like royalty. The upper sports a cold hammer-forged, chrome-lined barrel that will shrug off mag dumps until the rifling rounds out somewhere north of 20,000 shots. The proprietary MFR rail locks down tighter than a bank vault, and the bolt carrier group passes every high-pressure or magnetic test you can throw at it. That's the good news. Spend $1,900 to $2,200. Bring the rifle home, pop the rear pin, and reality peeks through the ejection port. The lower is plain forged aluminum housing, a 6.5-pound GI trigger, a basic safety selector, and a bolt catch no better than what ships on budget kits. Even the buffer tube looks like it came straight off a military surplus pallet. The muzzle device on the 14.5-inch SLW is welded in place, which spells trouble if you run a suppressor, not cut for Daniel's threads. The deep wood Cerakote variant gleams like freshly waxed linoleum. Great for Instagram, slippery for sweaty hands in humid weather. Add noticeable wobble between upper and lower, and the sticker shock grows teeth. Here's the move. Buy the V7 upper by itself. Daniel sells it, complete with bolt carrier group and ambidextrous charging handle, for roughly $1,100, less when holiday sales hit. Pair that with a Lead Star Arms or PSA forged lower. A Lead Star complete lower includes a Hyperfire enhanced trigger that breaks 2 pounds lighter than mil-spec and costs about $180. Drop on a B5 SOP Modi stock and a Magpul K2 grip, and the whole build comes in around $1,450. Performance remains identical because every critical component, barrel, bolt, gas system, lives in the upper. You gain a crisper trigger, keep enough cash for an optic, and avoid paying boutique money for government issue furniture. That kind of smart mix and match buying beats swiping a credit card for a rifle that still needs upgrades. Number 4. Desert Tech MDR. The MDR looks like it teleported off a movie set. It promises multi-caliber swaps in minutes, forward and side ejection, and a footprint shorter than a 10-inch AR while maintaining a 16-inch barrel. On paper, it's a prepper's dream. One receiver that can run 5.56 today, jump to 7.62 tomorrow, and still fits inside a backpack. Street price hovers around $2,300, so buyers naturally expect panacea performance. My time behind 3 different MDRs painted another picture. Each carbine required proprietary wrenches and a YouTube tutorial for basic maintenance. Gas settings felt like roulette. Run the knob one click too far, and the action battered brass into modern art. Extraction patterns shifted with ambient temperature. Magazines rattled inside the well, and left-hand ejection kits misfed more often than they worked. The design reeks of ambition, yet ambition doesn't punch paper or ring steel reliably. IWI's X95 sits nearby on the rack, usually $200 cheaper. The Israeli factory turned the original Taver into a fully modernized workhorse. Trimmer fore-end, modular handguard panels, and a trigger pack that cleans up with a 5-minute spring swap. Charging handle placement encourages aggressive presses during malfunction clearance, and a simple 2-position gas system keeps suppressed shooting pleasant. The rifle disassembles into big, glove-friendly chunks, so field maintenance under red light becomes trivial. I've watched X95s run carbine courses in desert windstorms, then jump into shoothouse duty without cleaning. They just keep going. Caliber conversions exist, sure, but the real allure is predictability. Insert mag, chamber round, press trigger, get bang. That's peace of mind the MDR hasn't earned yet. Number 3. Noveske Gen III. Noveske barn door engraving and the distinctive flaming pig logo occupy a special place in gun culture. The company's early stainless barrels delivered sub-minute groups when chrome moly tubes still averaged 2 inches. That legacy created a mystique now baked into the Gen III rifle, which retails for roughly $2,800 before optics. The billet receiver set features sculpted lines. The switch block gas system offers tool-less suppression tuning, and the Cerakote finishes look hand-polished. At the range, the gun shoots accurately, but so do uppers at half the price. Sub-minute groups are commonplace in current production barrels, and ambidextrous controls no longer belong exclusively to top shelf makers. What separates the Gen III in practice is intangible brand prestige more than measurable performance. Most owners baby the rifle because replacement parts cost dearly, and resale value plummets with visible wear. A tool you hesitate to use stops being a tool. Palmetto State Armory's PA-15 BLM, or Smith & Wesson's M, and P-15 Sport 2 offer an antidote. The PA-15, blemished only in finish, lands at about $500. Functionally, it mirrors any mil-spec carbine. Forged 7075 receivers, chrome-lined or nitride barrel depending on trim, Carpenter 158 bolt, and a reliable mid-length gas system. The Sport 2 upgrades a few details: Armornite barrel treatment, a forward assist, and a dust cover, while staying under $700. Fit an ALG Acti trigger for $80. Install a free-float M-lock rail for another $100, and either rifle will hold 1.5-inch groups at 100 yards all day. With $1,300 saved, you can add a solid LPVO, 1,000 rounds of training ammunition, and a quality class tuition. Skill beats gear every time, and extra reps at the range forge skill better than the world's prettiest receiver window. Number 2. Korth Mongoose. Korth revolvers arrived from Germany wearing a reputation for surgical tolerances. The Mongoose, their entry-level line, costs more than many used automobiles. The cylinder spins on a ball-bearing detent. The trigger surfaces sparkle like chrome bumpers, and lockup feels bank vault tight. On the bench, it will single-hole match wad cutters, yet few owners push hard enough to test long-term durability. That's partially because hauling a $4,000 revolver to a high round count course feels reckless. Cosmetic dings erase value faster than they accumulate on polymer service pistols. Spare parts and factory service involve overseas shipping or the Nighthawk custom importer, which means dollars and weeks. The gun is art that happens to shoot. For collectors or bullseye obsessives, it scratches a niche itch, but the average enthusiast gains little beyond bragging rights. Spohr, another German manufacturer, builds the L562 with comparable old-world care for roughly $3,000 flat. Savings near $800 may not sound earth-shaking at this level, yet yet they buy a quality holster, speed loaders, and enough .357 Magnum to master recoil control. The L562's double-action sweep runs glassy smooth, while single-action delivers a crisp break without the Korth's trampoline-like reset. Cylinders index on the ejector star, an arrangement less glamorous than Korth's bearing setup, but far easier to service in the field. The revolver arrives in a fitted case with a detailed target and ships parts domestically through their U.S. partner, simplifying maintenance. Shooters who actually fire their wheel guns instead of displaying them will appreciate that practicality. The money saved turns what could be a safe queen into a trusted range companion. Number 1. Manurhin MR73. French GIGN commandos carried MR73s as a badge for hostage rescues, subway interventions, and countless high round count training cycles. The revolver earned mythic status by enduring 90,000 full-power .357 loads without frame stretch. Modern civilian versions replicate that over-engineering and ask $3,800 for the privilege. Each gun ships with a factory test target showing sub-inch clusters at 25 meters, and the roller-bearing trigger lets shooters stack the break precisely. That heritage feels intoxicating. The problem appears when you compare needs versus specs. Most of us will never reach 90,000 magnums. Our wrists would surrender first. While the MR73 outshoots many service pistols in single-action mode, the double-action pull remains heavier than custom Smith & Wessons, and parts availability inside North America stays thin. Every time you practice speed loader drills on concrete, the fear of scarring that gorgeous blued steel creeps in. An object that demands reverence becomes a burden. Smith & Wesson's Performance Center 686 Plus costs approximately $1,200. That 3-to-1 price difference buys a tuned action, a 7-round cylinder, and a lifetime repair policy you can execute at any stateside warranty center. The PC guns leave the factory with hand-polished rebound slides and chamfered charge holes. Out of the box, they run smoother double-action strokes than stock MR73s and accept aftermarket springs so you can fine-tune pull weight for competition or carry. Stainless construction laughs at holster wear. A scuff adds character instead of killing resale. Spend the leftover $2+ grand on reloading equipment and components, then knock out handloads that actually let you approach that mythical 90,000 round number. Skills improve, ammo stocks grow, and your revolver ventures into the field instead of hiding behind tempered glass. And those are the 6 guns that, in our opinion, just aren't worth the MSRP. Whether it's poor QC, outdated specs, or inflated prestige, they'll leave you lighter in the wallet and heavier in regret. Thankfully, every one of them has a better alternative that performs harder and costs less. Which of these overpriced guns have you tried, and which one would you never touch again? Got another model that you believe belongs on this list? Drop it in the comments. Then hit like, share this with your range buddies, subscribe, and smash the bell so you don't miss the next takedown. Thanks for tuning in.